And welcome back, everyone, to the Rise of Flights. Sorry, I didn't want to cut an intro before this. And what is this? This is the start of a new campaign. And before I start the campaign, I thought to myself, well, I maybe should show you the plane before I'm playing the campaign, because most of the time I don't have enough time or nerves to tell you stuff about the planes, and well, I cannot be bothered, frankly enough. It's a bit difficult to fly while talking and trying to figure out infos I have stored in my brain somewhere. So I thought to myself, well, I could show you the plane before I'm starting the campaign, which rhymes. And what rhymes is always right. Isn't it? No, it's not. So, yeah, I'm starting a Sopwith Camel campaign. You probably heard about the Sopwith Camel. And I dug up some info. And when I searched for info, one sentence jumped into my eye. And it says, it had a weak torque and killed a lot of novice British pilots. But the Sopwith Camel shot down more German aircraft than any other Allied plane. And that's right. And that's everything you need to know about this plane. This plane is pain or gain. Haha! Another rhyme. No, frankly, the pilot said this plane will bring you 3 different crosses. The wooden cross, a red cross, or a Victoria cross. Because either you're doing pretty well with it, or you will die. And that's about it. This plane killed more pilots in the training than pilots got killed during the battle. And the reason why, I'm going to show you. Okay, first off, it doesn't have any field modifications. That's this wing cutout, as you can see here. And the wing cutout is just increasing your field of view on the upper deck, I guess it's called, the upper wing section. You have less lift when you take the cutout, but it's pretty helpful. I will show you why in a second. First, I could start with an Aldecite. You know that, of course, already from my Albatross campaign, but I don't need it right now. It has a capability of carrying bombs, 2 or 4, and well, just the rest is just regular ammunition and, of course, usual paint. And the British never had really good paint jobs. Some had emblems, some very what do you call it, AC pilots, I guess. Yeah, let's call them AC pilots. And these stripes and S's and stuff like that is markings from which squadrons they are and what numbers they have and that kind of stuff. But they never gotten into the whole let's paint our whole plane in different colors to make some more interesting kind of deal. So yeah, I guess you're tired of watching this thing in a hangar, so I'm going to show you it in the in-game world of the Rise of Flight. And this sound is really, really loud. I'm sorry. Oh, it's set at 90%. Oh well, I guess we can turn it down still. So, first off, the engine is sounding like this. Like a really angry bee. And it's an interesting engine indeed. Let me put up the whole thing to autopilot. So, no, actually that's not, because it will attack the ground targets there, and I don't want that to happen right now. Shift A. Yeah. So, the interior of the cockpit. Of course you have your stick here. Your RPMs, they should always be around 1200. For some reason my autopilot isn't working. Now it is. It should always be around 1200. The little white dot in the middle here is a banking indicator. which can be useful because the cutouts on the left and on the right are showing you when it's safe to pull your stick fully backwards without getting into a tumble. Why isn't it working? Weird. Maybe because I'm using the stick a bit here. Okay, above it is of course the compass. And over there you have the airspeed, so I don't need to look over to check my airspeed the whole time. This little propeller here gets turned. The faster I get turned, the higher my speed is, of course. So it works like an albatross, but it's much more comfortable because you can see it all the way. Here I have my food pressure, my watch, my height, and yeah, that's about it. This thing, the liquid here, it goes up and down, is my oil indicator. If this disappears, it means my oil has a problem. And this is my fuel gauge, and it will shortly getting down. It will slowly getting down, of course. The less fuel I have, the less liquid will be in this tube. And I got something else in here. So this is a machine gun, and this is the blip switch. So the blip switch works like a clutch in a normal car, and when you pull it through, the gears aren't really working. And it's not really gears, you know what I mean. So now to the biggest problem the Camel has, and its biggest problem is also its best advantage, in that it can turn pretty fast, but it also gets into tumbling a lot, and that's where this flip switch comes in handy. I can show you. Okay, this is a left turn. Woo, this is the reversal, and now I'm getting into tumbling. And to get out of it, I need to put down the nose. Yeah, so this is the biggest problem right here. You get into tumblings a lot, and it's really, really hard to get out of it. The reason why this is happening is because we are flying with a so-called rotary engine. And I guess I can show you from the front. The whole engine is turning, like the cylinders inside the engine are turning and are getting ignited when they are it's ignition. It's not like with the inline engine in my albatross, where it's just everything is in line. No, this thing keeps turning and turning. So I always got this motion to the left, and that is making the plane much harder to fly and much more unstable. But it also gives the engine more power and energy than with a regular motor. I don't even know if motor is an English word. Interesting. So it has more power than a normal inline engine, and well, it leads to the problems that I told you about. Another problem is that the plane is acting differently from turning to the right and turning to the left, in that it's much easier to turn to the right than it's turning to the left, because I'm getting this effect that because the engine is turning to the left, I'm getting this left forward torque, so I can pretty much turn much faster to the right than I can turn to the left. But it's also having the effect that my nose is constantly pulling down. The pilots called it jokingly that you can always go 90 degrees to the left, but you can go always 270 degrees to the right. And this is a left-hand tumble, and it's really hard to get out. And with the albatross, when I lost my control, I just had to counteract with rudder and just put the throttle out. Whereas the Camel, I need to walk the shift the whole time to get it out of there. and yeah, it can get problematic pretty fast. So, what do you need to know about this plane? Okay, now there's a part where my information is coming. That's why I'm just going to give you a nice view of the plane. Shift F2. So, this is the Sopwith Camel from the outside. And what you can see here is that the upper deck and the lower deck aren't parallel to each other. The lower deck is going slightly upwards, which of course makes the air pass much faster through the ends of it, which gives it this great turning capability it has. That well, it also makes the plane less stable. Oh, the wing cutout. Yeah, I forgot. I have this wing cutout. So it's pretty easy for me to see everything when I'm doing the turns. Like, it's really easy to keep up with an enemy you are trying to outturn. And outturning enemies is what this plane is all about. I'm faster than the Albatross, and I can turn faster than the Albatross. And as long as I don't go into a tumble, I should easily win all encounters with them. And this will be my main enemy until the Fokker arrives at the front. I don't think I will live long enough, because I think I will die during a spin. I'm pretty sure about that. So, this plane was produced as the follow-up to the Sopwith Pup. If you've seen the Albatross campaign, Sopwith Pup was my last enemy I fought with, until my pilot just gone into madness and crashed into one and then died. Yeah, it was a weird enemy, but I couldn't deal with it anymore. I'm sorry. So, it was introduced in June 1914 in the 4th Squadron of the Royal Navy Air Service. So the guys that fought at a channel, and later it got adopted into number 17 RNAS Squadron. Its real name isn't the Sopwith Camel. It was called the Sopwith Biplane F1, but it called the Camel by the pilots because of these two bumps that the machine guns are delivering. And yeah, it looks like the bumps on a camel. It was the most produced biplane during the World War I, and it was produced in a really big number, 5,419. 90, not 19, 5,490, and it got the most kills during the war. Camels shot down 1,294 German planes. The most and well-known ace was William George Baker, who was a Canadian, and he shot down around 50 German planes, and 44 of those in a single Sopwith Camel. And with that, he had the most victories in a single aircraft. When he reassigned, he tried to take the watch from the Camel as a souvenir, but he had to hand it back. Which is a bit sad. Oh well. The plane itself weighs around 500 kg and has a top speed of 185 km an hour on deck height, so under 100 meters, under 1000 meters I guess. So right now the autopilot is giving me 87, 88 miles per hour, which sounds about right. And it had a true air superiority against the Albatross. And the reason why is of course its ability to basically turn on a dime. Just look at this forest there and how fast I'm turning before I go into spin, of course. This will be a short campaign. The second time dying. Okay, right now I'm not really paying attention, that's why I'm getting into tumbles, but I will go into spins a lot. I can tell you that for a fact. I even trained with this plane, it still is happening to me. Also, one of the reasons it's going to spins that quickly isn't just because it's a rotary engine. Other planes were rotary engines too, but it also got a very, very short fuselage, like you can see here. And 90% of the plane's weight are in the top. like everything to the pilot, those are 90% of the wake. So everything behind me here is just to counteract the wake and just for controls. And well, yeah, that's leading to problems. At least I got the blip switch, which will help me a lot. And what it's doing better than the other British planes, like the SE-5A, which is really good at zooming and booming, is the fact that it has two machine guns, these nice little two Wickers. I shouldn't say little, because those are monstrous. A channel called Forgotten Weapons has a nice video of the Wickers machine guns being fired for I think 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and there's smoke everywhere because those things are getting really hot. They are water cooled. Of course they need less cooling because I'm in the air, but still those things are getting hot pretty quickly, and they will jam up a lot more than the 0815 Spandau machine guns from the Albatros. So I need to look out for that. But well, all in all, it's a nice plane, and I'm looking forward to the campaign. Normally I'm not flying British planes or French planes very often, most of the time in multiplayer and when I'm playing with myself. No, when I'm playing by myself, most of the time I'm using German planes. I'm just not used to them. Well, after a while I think I figured out at least a bit what this plane is all about, and well, I need to pay attention to the speed, because speed is an issue, of course. Also the mixture is an issue. I haven't shown you that. I can't in fact right now. Yeah, I have to pay attention to the mixture and I have to pay attention to the speed, and if I'm doing that, everything should be alright, because this plane is pretty much better at everything compared to the Albatros. It's faster, it can turn faster. I think the Albatros is better at zooming in the long run, but well, try to zoom someone that can do this. This is a turn radius right here. Ooh. Yeah, that's a nice thing about the Sopwith. Let's try to land this one, and with that I'm going to finish the video. The campaign is starting really soon. I will fly as a British guy in a British squadron, of course. And I'm going to tell you more historical facts about the British aircrafts later in the campaign when I have nothing else to do. Oh yeah, and I will play at the West Front. I won't play at the channel. And the channel maps have this problem that my frames are getting below 20 on a regular basis when I'm recording. And the channel map is even worse, and you can't play this game with a low frame rate. I'm blipping the engine here, by the way, in case you're wondering. You can't hear the engine. Oh, what happened here? Whoa, too much speed, way too much speed. Okay, I guess that's it. I landed, somehow. Oh, I broke off my rotor. Well, that's bad. Okay, I need to figure out the landing, I guess. You can see, by the way, the engine in here. Like, these cylinders in there are turning the whole time. And that's why you have a lot of wake being thrown into the left direction all the time. And that makes the plane quite difficult to handle. I know, less talking, more flying. So I see you guys on the next video.